is up, my friends? I am back after a little bit of a hiatus. Thank you for being patient. And I've been very busy all week. I know I say that every single time I make another video because it's always like a week in between, but it's the truth. I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of shit. So today I wanted to talk about one of the greatest cameras ever made in the entire world. This right here, the D700. This thing is an absolute legend. And I want to talk about why I'm incorporating this back into my wedding workflow. For a long time, it's just been, since the Z6 came out, I was like the first person to buy the Z6 at my local camera shop. So I've been using that ever since. And that will continue to be my main camera because I absolutely love that thing. But I wanted to incorporate the D700 back into the flow. And the reason why is because, I mean, this video isn't going to be too long. I do want to talk about all the different features of the D700, but there's really just one reason. The D700 renders colors and skin tones in image quality better than anything that I have ever seen with any other camera, okay? It's just, I know that some people are going to agree with this and some people are going to say it's bullshit, but for me, the way that the D700 renders images is unlike any other camera that I've ever used or ever seen. Okay, it was a special point in time where Nikon had a special sensor made, plus the algorithm that they used to take that information off the sensor and translate it into an image was unique. And the way that they tweaked that, I'm not a engineer or scientist or friggin' engineer on any of this stuff, but the way that they did it renders colors absolutely beautifully. The skin tones, the quality of the colors, the quality of the image is just so freaking good that I always end up going back to it. I mean, the thing is extremely heavy, guys. It's not a light camera at all. It's built like an absolute tank. I could take this right now and chuck it against this wall. It's going to put a fucking hole in the wall and it's not going to damage anything. I'll be able to go on using this. This thing has been dropped. It has been splashed on water. It has been, I mean, just beat to shit, and it will never die. I mean, it's just an unbelievably well-built camera. And there's something about holding it in my hands that's just makes me want to go out and shoot. And so, like, even when I'm out, I don't even really use my Z6 that much when I'm, if I'm going to shoot for myself and just do, like, I have a day off and I'm just going to go out and take pictures of something, I don't really bring my Z6. I bring the D700 or I bring the Ricoh. And this thing is probably the most fun to shoot with. And I don't know if it's a nostalgic thing where this is what when I really got into photography, this is the thing that I learned on. And I just have shot so many unbelievable pictures with it. Some of my favorite ones. I've taken this miles and thousands of miles across the United States and planes and fucking rental cars and trains and all that. And, I've shot some of my best images with it. So, but it's always, yes, it's heavy and it's kind of, it's a brick to carry around, but I always go back to it because just the pictures and the joy of shooting with it is just so great. Now, this cannot be my main camera anymore. The Z6 is an unbelievable, all-around, crazy camera. The Z6 allows me to do the majority of the wedding, get everything quick, make sure that everything is exactly lit how I want. I don't have to think about the images that I'm capturing. It frees me up to focus on my composition. But when you're doing portraits and you're doing family formals at a wedding, you don't need all the crazy autofocus. You don't need all the fast-paced, speed of a modern camera, a modern DSLR, or a modern mirrorless. Because this thing is not going to focus fast. I don't use any of the, the 3D tracking. It doesn't have 3D tracking, but any of the other autofocus modes, except for single point, right there in the middle. Boom. I never move the focus point. It's always right in the middle. It's on single point and, single shot, and I just back button focus with it. And, it's for people who aren't moving, and, when I have a little bit of time and I can actually direct the scene more, which is in the only two times you're ever going to direct the scene in a wedding, it's portraits and family formals. The rest of the time I'm doing documentary photojournalistic work pretty much at a wedding. That's the approach me and my wife have. And the Z6 is perfect for that because it allows me to not only have like silent shooting when I need it, but it's small, it's not as intrusive, and it's a beast of a camera. The autofocus is great, the image quality is great, and it's mirrorless too, so like there's so many less things to think about. But when it comes to just portraits, beautiful portraits, and beautiful family shots, this is what I want to use. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back in. Now, not only is the color science or the algorithm or the way that it renders skin tones and color beautiful, but the quality of the grain is so much different than other cameras. I haven't been able to find something that looks as good. I just really haven't. I've used a lot of different cameras and nothing looks as good. When you bump this up into higher ISOs, I mean, higher ISO for this is like, you know, 3200. That's like the highest that I would ever think about going on a D700. Even that's kind of pushing it. But the 12 megapixels, the pixel pitch on it and the way that it renders the grain, I'm telling you, there's a quality to it that's different than anything, and it's very, very beautiful. So I'm gonna pair this with I got two new 85 lenses. I got this. I've got the box right here. The lens is in the other room in my office, but my other office, but right here, the Zeiss Milvis 85-1.4. So I got that, and I got a Helios 42, which is an 85 as well. And you know, I'm sure you guys are, you know, photography connoisseurs. I'm sure you've heard of both of these lenses. The Helios is an old Russian lens. It has a really cool bokeh effect. It's not very sharp. It's kind of soft in the middle, but it's basically for portraits. It has a really cool effect in the background. So I'm going to use that with this, and I'm also going to use the Zeiss. I'm not planning on keeping both. I'm just going to keep one. But this is specifically for portraits and family formals. Just that. That's the only time this is going to come out of the bag. I mean, you just can't, when you've gone to a modern camera, especially a mirrorless that has really good autofocus, it can track faces, you have the mirrorless where you're looking through a good EVF. It's just, I mean, you don't want to go back to a DSLR when you have to photograph challenging situations that are changing, but you can't get that image quality that the D700 has. I mean, this is a legendary camera. It's not going to autofocus fast like crazy. It's not going to do a bunch of like different, you know, bells and whistles. I mean, it's getting to where this is old school, but the image quality is there. It's just like people who still shoot film. I mean, it's because of the image quality. It's not the convenience of it. So this thing is going back in my bag for the camera, or for the weddings. And yeah, I'm gonna bring it around, and you know, I just think that I'm all about saving money, guys. So even though it's 2019, the D700 is still a great camera. If you're, you know, a hobbyist photographer, I mean, you can go on to eBay and get them for like $400 now. And they're unbelievable. I mean, I'm telling you, these things are going to be a collector's item one day, because Nikon it was a special point in time where they did something that was unique, and it will never be like that again. So those things are going to be collector's items. I would recommend anybody have one. And just, you know, especially, I wouldn't recommend it for wedding photography, because like I said, things change so fast and you have to be on your toes, and you know, the lighting changes and the people changes. You want to be the least intrusive as possible. I mean, this thing is extremely, like, listen, you know, that's a loud shutter click. You know, if you're using that at a reception, you're going to cause noise, you're going to get in people's way, they're going to see you. I can do silent shooting with the Z6 and it's no problem. People don't even notice me anymore. So there's so many more benefits to mirrorless, especially the Z6 for weddings. But if you're just like a hobbyist or a portrait shooter, or somebody who doesn't need the stealth or the crazy autofocus and you have time to compose, get a D700. I mean, it's still an unbelievable choice for 2019. I really think that people should go examine the photos that you can get out of it. And, you know, go pick one up, because they're not that expensive. I definitely recommend everybody has one. Portraits are just unbelievable. I'll actually, you know what I'll do is I'll upload some portraits that I shot with this. Me and my wife did some creative portraits, and I'll put those on the in the description there, links to them. And I'll just you can kind of see the picture quality, and yeah, that's it, guys. everybody go get a D700. And I will do a review on the 285s and let you guys know exactly which one I'm going to keep. I have a wedding tomorrow. I have an engagement shoot on Sunday, and then I have another wedding on Friday, and then another engagement shoot on Sunday. So about 2 weddings and 2 engagement shoots in the next 2 weeks. I'll be able to figure out exactly which one I'm keeping, but I will keep you guys posted. All right, till the next video.